Hello everybody, I'm the Hero Gaming Channel and welcome back to TNO and to my Germany playthrough with, well, we're still Mr. H, but we are going down the road with good old Hermann Goring. He will be taking charge at some point. Don't know if it's going to be today, but, oh gosh, a midnight call. Hermann Göring exclaimed on the phone. I'm not going to say that. I'm never going to say this on a video. Never. This is Reich's Marshal Goring. It's a pleasure to speak with you, Dr. Brandt. Are you enjoying the Berghof? I'm afraid I'm too focused on Fuhrer's health with my surroundings, but the medical isolation is helping him immensely. I must ask, Doctor, though it pains me so, Goring sighed mightily, will the Fuhrer live? As long as my medical orders are not interrupted by the likes of Julius Schwab, we should see a turnaround. I'm attending to the Fuhrer night and day, although Schwab keeps accusing me of undermining his authority. He's always a slimy little toad, hasn't he? He's always been a slimy toad, hasn't he? Goring laughed. Your hard work will not go unrewarded, I can assure you. Have a good night. He placed the phone down and strummed his fingers against the desk. The Fuhrer's absence provided an opportunity for further action. If he hosted a military parade and delivered a grand speech glorifying the Wehrmacht, it would satisfy the likes of Schroeder and Remmer, while also infuriating Bormann and making him look weak and incompetent. Afterwards, he could propose a meeting in the Reichstag in which he would paint the Fuhrer's secretary as a closet liberal, no better than Speer and his crypto-Bolshevik agitators. As long as the gap between the conservatives and the militarists was bridged, Goring would face no opposition from party. Bormann and Speer naturally would be given the wrong date for such a meeting. Goring plucked up the phone with a grin. There was work to be done. A grin, rather, not a grin. Minus 15 stability. Great. So, anyways, Mr. H is currently severely ill. Our influence, we need to expand upon it, which we will be doing. We've also bet the Italians for a second time in the great game for Bulgaria. Yeah, 2 wins. I guess we just need one more and it's we've won, really. Oh, we have 3 civilian factories. Oh my gosh. Let's build some military factories in Goring's territory. I think that all pops up as ours. Let's have at least 1,000. Eliminate the bandits. Aerial reconnaissance. 1 to 5. We could do 1 to 4. And then, oh, if only we had. And once we get 1 to 4, and then the political power one, that pretty much help us. Yep. Let's do it. If it adds 4, and then we get 3 grand. War in the desert. Turkey has went to war and the Italian Empire has gone after Yugoslavia. Which, let's be honest, isn't really shocking. Tito is going to disappear quicker than, well, he arrived, really. Does Vorkuta have a tree? Ah, that's a shame. Oh, well, there goes Yugoslavia already. Who would have seen that coming? Croatia is now Italian again. Oh well. Alright, so their influence is increasing again. Spear's gotta be the same as me. Then again, how close are we to finishing this? Oh yeah, we're not actually gaining any right now either. We're not going to gain another for a while. In the current struggle for the governments over the Reich, it will be the most equipped and well prepared who will ultimately achieve the apparatus of state. Continuing the seemingly social Darwinist philosophy, we have no choice but to play favourites with regard to the allocations of supply in the here. By conducting this change in supply to favour the Hawks, we will almost certainly damage the potential capability of our political opponents who will ideological favour with certain here divisions. Support weapons to our loyal divisions will assure us a position of strength and the political situation becomes unmanageable. Good. When does Mr. H die again? It's the next couple of years, and that war is finished. How do we do in the game there? Oh, 7. Yes. Right. All we need to do now is do the 1 to 3.1, which is going to be easier said than done when we're not actually getting political power. Saying that, we are tied right now. I could risk it for a chalky biscuit and go for eliminate the bandits. Madagascar requests medical equipment. Reich's Commissariat Madagascar sent us an urgent message. They're experiencing an outbreak of plague on the island. Though the outbreak is in its early stages, due to the combination of poor infrastructure and inadequate resources, they expect the situation to worsen despite their best efforts. Reich's Commissar Maurice has requested a large stock of medical supplies and equipment to be sent to the island to help contain the disease before a full-blown epidemic develops. The request will likely not inconvenience us by much, but the domestic situation in Germany is hardly assured either. Should we send what they ask for? Yeah, we'll send the requested equipment, why not? We'll help out Madagascar even though they're going to end up in a civil war anyways. You still got the SMP? Oh, they're in the middle of doing their elections right now. If both parties go over or stay below 10, then the higher value wins. Equal effort means a draw. I wouldn't mind a draw. I would take a draw. Yeah, so right. Oh jeez, 40. We'll gain 2 additional divisions. I need to look for opportunities as well. I like, yeah. At least we'll get 10 from there. I don't really want to spend it because then it'll put us on Heydrich's bloody level. Don't really know how much this actually matters, but victory in the conflict may bring advantage of the situation. For the deteriorate influence points may be spent on several buffs for a faction. However, it would be unwise to spend it all. Once as our main influence points could affect our starting position if the worst comes to worst. Okay, we supplied the loyal divisions. America's going after Guyana. The Panzer fleet of the the Reich is a brilliant symbol of national pride, constant reminder of our military prowess. Therefore, it's only proper that the Reichsmarshal Goring partakes in a potentially valuable propaganda piece, which may sway as of yet undecided panzer commanders. Herr Goring will thereby tour the nation's panzer fleet in order to drum up support in the Wehrmacht for his militaristic agenda. Increase the loyalty of the militarists, and we gain 5 war support. Oh, come on, I really could do against more influence. I guess what we'll do is go row on the radio, dominate on television. After we've done train all day, every day. The Italian's going to beat us. Oh no, we did draw. We've got 4 so far. Yeah, they'll hate us. 2 to 4, that puts up to potentially 8. That could put us up to 9. Lose 100k of our liquidated reserves. I guess what I'll do is I'll go for the 1 to 5 and hope that we get a 5, and then it puts us on 9. Yeah, stuff it. I'll do that. Look for opportunities. Unemployment on the rise. For the everyday German, gainful employment is incredibly hard to come by. Nearly all sectors of the German economy, agriculture, manufacturing, even construction, are glutted, dominated by slave labour. Uneducated Germans are hard-pressed to find jobs, forcing them to survive on state welfare. This has made labour involving higher education super competitive, and even our best and brightest struggle to find jobs. The situation only worsens year after year with no solution in sight. There are simply not enough private sector jobs to go around. The German economy needs a major overhaul, the first being to address the dismal state of German employment. While we could certainly just conscript more men to drop employment for or increase benefits and payouts, it would be prudent to start phasing out slave labour and turn these jobs to the civilian sector, even if it is at the expense of the industrialists. We are always looking for more men in the army. That gives us 5 legitimacy there. I feel like we should keep on doing the look for opportunities as soon as it comes up. I am tempted to spend some to divert some more infantry equipment, or actually some additional divisions might be a shout. I could do that as well. We've got some free military factories. Let's go ahead and improve the infantry anti-tank. Let's get a second upgrade for that. And a military. Where do I want to send you? Oh, you're outdated. The Cobra missile. I think we'll put them on to guns. Yeah, I'll put up to 15 guns. Right, let's have a wee look how we're doing on this. Oh, it's not taking effect yet. Attack German outposts. Oh, they're up to 7. We're up to 7. Oh. Army exchange 1 to 3. Let's do it. 1 to 3. Let's hope we get a 3. That'll put us right onto 10 and we will win. We will win again. They're going to increase our influence again. Maybe it's best if I just stay on the 30 right now. Just until I've done this. That'll put me up to 40. I don't know how often the look for an opportunity comes up, but that is 5 every time, so we should probably invest a little bit more in trying to do those if we can. I feel sorry for Sweden. Kinda just a little bit isolated. Then again, Finland's kind of the same. A report from Norway. From the Executive Office of Reichskommissariat Norwegian to the Federal Foreign Office of the Reich regarding unsanctioned civilian propaganda. As noted in previous communications, investigations into supposed domestic subversive elements are currently ongoing and will continue as further evidence is made known. Existing operational forces will be redistributed to locations where they are more needed until such a time as the Office of the Reichskommissar deems it necessary. Forced deployments of the garrison, state security agencies, and local and federal police forces are determined via the complex needs of the Reichskommissariat and may appear unorthodox, but they are being utilized to their fullest extent. During this period, efforts to monitor ongoing supposed domestic subversive elements will continue as needed, but pursuant to the intentions of the security apparatus, additional direct action against alleged propaganda has been deemed counterproductive. Thus, until rescinded, the security apparatus has been ordered to observe and analyse supposed propaganda until such a time as the Office of the Reichskommissar deems it necessary. The ongoing mission of the Reich and its interests in Reichskommissariat Norwegian are being met at pace, and until further notice will not require increased activity in anti-propaganda endeavours. So many words have never had so little to say. Okay, so Spear's going to be the same. Reinhard is... Oh wait a second, that didn't really improve that much, did it? Didn't even improve at all. Oh no, it has now. It's going to be a very... We need to catch up on Bormann. Right, we've toured the Panzer fleet. To ensure the Wehrmacht is in top physical shape in the unfortunate event of an armed conflict over who the next Fuhrer shall be, therefore we shall implement a policy of continuous training, as we must ensure a Wehrmacht is ready for a conflict as a moment's notice. This will serve to increase public confidence in the capability and preparedness of the Wehrmacht, as well as show our enemies that we are willing and ready to fight if need be. Yes, let's do that, get that 10 influence. Let's go ahead, and we're already researching all this. We could research the Unimog 404S, but then again, industrial wise, we are fine. Yeah, we're fine on that. And I think we're improved aerial refueling. Increases the range of it. 451 days. I hate this research debuff we've got. Why do we have it again? Einsieg minus 15, restricted child labour minus 5, low slavery minus 5, public education minus 7.5. Oh my days. 20 to 50% poverty rate. That is awful. Kill them all. Wow, that is a very, very interesting way of, well, their military laws. Very interesting. Ah, right, the game. Oh, yes. We're on 9. Not quite 10, but we should win this. Unless the Italians somehow manage to land on 10. Oh, we've got to risk it. Well, we're not risking it really. We're just the chances of us hitting one of the 4. The chances are very unlikely here. A trip to the tea house. Oh no, continuing worsen. Any other man would have admired the beautiful scenery that surrounded them. Any other man would have breathed in the fresh air with the deep satisfaction while surveying the rolling green hills. Any other man would have listened intently to the melodies of nature, from the chirping of the birds to the buzzing of the grasshoppers. Not Dr. Carl Brandt, was watching the Fuhrer like a hawk, ready to leap forwards in an instant. Despite his deteriorating condition, Mr. H had gently asked Brandt if he could maintain his old ritual of strolling to the tea house on Moldslafnerkopf Hill. Definitely said that wrong. Julius Schwab, I'm probably saying that wrong as well, had soon caught wind of this, and despite Brandt's numerous protestations, forced him to adhere to the Fuhrer's orders. That smug sycophant was striding alongside them, inhaling deeply as he basked in the sunlight. Imagine that idiot tripping over and smashing his face upon a rock gave Brandt some modicum of relief. Mr. H suddenly halted in his tracks, panting heavily. Brandt dived forwards just in time to catch the old man by the shoulders as he collapsed backwards like a puppet without strings. His face was pale and covered in sweat, and his breathing was raspier than usual. Brandt gently lowered him to the ground and turned him on his side, tearing off his own coat to place under the Fuhrer's head in anticipation of a seizure. As he suspected, Hitler's body soon began to jerk uncontrollably. "Don't just stand there," Brandt shouted at Schwab, who was staring at the two of them in distress. "Get Kempka now." Schwab nodded and raced back the other way they had come. For 3 minutes the seizure stopped. Mr. H was breathing raggedly, clutching at the dirt beneath his hat. His eyes were filled with tears. At last the car arrived. Eric Kempka leapt out of the driver's seat and thrust open the back door. Brandt slowly helped Mr. H to his feet and guided him towards the vehicle. Place the Fuhrer under a 24-hour medical watch now. Okay, I think it's going to probably kick off in the next year. Was it the next year that happened? Actually, where are they up to? Because that'll be a good sign of time to how much longer we got. It will definitely be next year. It'll be 44, maybe. Maybe. Right, how did we do? Did we manage to win? We must have drew. We must have drew, which means I must have scored 10. Holy crap, the odds of that happening were not very likely. Can I look for opportunities. The economic mess. The economy has been on the downturn since the economic crash of the 50s. Many Germans who lost their jobs have remained or underemployed and destitute for the better part of a decade now. The only means of survival has hinged on the state continuing to provide them benefits. While the economy was crashing, many small business owners closed their doors for the last time. Major corporate interests throughout the country silently consolidated their holdings and bought properties, machinery, and expertise for next to nothing. German citizens were replaced with cheaper slave labour, and their jobs simply never returned. A decade later, wages still haven't returned to their pre-crash levels, even with 10 years of inflation for the few that still worked. German people yearn for some kind of action. We cannot be content to sit and watch our citizens suffer. Something must be done now to give the people some much needed relief and hope. Fortunately, it's up to us to decide how best to approach this. We could always use more workers in the armament factories. There's more influence for Goring, fantastic. And we are about to get 10 as well, which is going to put us on the same level as Bormann. Which is going to put a little bit of a gap between us and Spear, which is good, good. Anyways, back to the Italians. So it's 4-2 right now. Can we get one that's potentially could hit us with 6? Shoot arm protesters, let's do it. I doubt we'll hit a 6, but might as well try. Right, we have 45 now. I think I can afford to bring key regiments to our side. Yeah, let's go ahead and spend 5 influence. And what we'll do now is we'll go for roar on the radio. The now deceased Reichsminister of Public Enlightenment and Propaganda, Dr. GG, we'll call him that, once stated that the radio was the greatest propaganda asset ever devised, encouraging the industry's growth at the outset of our regime. Although a G is unfortunately no longer with us, we shall take a page from his book and use methods of radio to solidify our influence over the public. We'll roar on the radio till every single German is united behind our agenda of warfare, glory, and national redemption. Good, so it's 20 days until they go up again. That's fine. We're bringing here regiments to our side. So we've already got 5,000 guns coming to our side as well. I would like to invest in some more of them. because Heydrich. Oh. Himmler, what are you doing? Nuclear stockpile monthly change +1. Wow. The state of Turkestan declared war on the Republic of Pakistan. Italy wins the Italo-Turkish War. Jeez. Oh wow, that ended with Uzbekistan getting it all. Overwhelming strikes. I'm just gonna have a wee look here. Oh, they're still working through this stuff. That's how long it takes you to go through these. Alright, combined blitz. Let's do that. Interesting music playing right now. Right, how did we do? How did we do? 7-6. 1 to 3 column reinforcements. 2,000 manpower lost. 2 to 3 points. That pretty much would guarantee. Yes, we'll do it. We've got pluck up over the spare. Let's do that. If we can win this, that's our 2 to 3. So 9 or 10 is going to be pretty good. Enric caught severely injured in Kiev bombing. Second attempt on the life of a German leader this year. Martial law has been declared across Reichskommissariat Ukraine following the attempt on the life of Reichskommissar Erich Gotch. Not good. Well, we will have Karl the Nitz eventually popping up in Crimea. She'll pop up. Theodor Reichshafen. I've definitely said it wrong. Oh, they've changed the name of it as well. American spy plane intercepted. Yesterday, Luftwaffe units based in Northern England intercepted an American U-2 spy plane. Radar detected approaching from the OFN Iceland base. HO229 fighters were scrambled as all interceptors were ongoing routine maintenance. En route to interception, 3 of the 4 aircraft suffered engine difficulties and safely returned to base. The final aircraft, piloted by a hero of the Reich, Oberst Hermann Graf, entered missile range and fired. The American pilot, terrified of being shot down, immediately fled with his tail between his legs. Aircraft, an ace pilot with over 300 confirmed kills in the Second World War, has proven once again the superiority of the Aryan race over the Yankee mongrels. Don't even think about coming back. You two almost shot down over England. The Americans spying on us. We hit 9. As long as the Italians don't hit 10 again, we'll be fine. Dominate on television. Let's get another 5 influence. Long ago, the Reich's various propaganda outlets had seemingly been won over by Goring, producing pieces which helped strengthen his popularity among Germans and solidifying his man of the people image. Yet, despite the tumultuous nature of the Reich over the past decade, the press have largely remained loyal to the Reichsmarshal and the Wehrmacht's hawks. Due to this good relationship, we shall abuse the proverbial friendship to dominate the Reich's television networks to attempt to convince the people of our inspiring message and well-meaning beliefs. I'd like to think we are going to get through this. I'd like to think so anyways. Increase the power of militarists by a small amount. Take it we don't want their power increasing. Smell of a camera, one bad photo. Gonna get some stability and triumph in Germania. I should really just get you out of the way. In his reformist faction, how dare they? And the Burgundian system. Oh, shocking. Shocking. Right, how is the influence looking? 50, 40, 35 and 30. Holy. And Hitler is currently in a not so good position. Okay. Bulgaria sides with Germany. Hell yeah, we won. Get that round you. The Italians thought they could best us. We've proved them wrong. Unlucky. Unlucky. No, decision available. Ah, look for opportunities. Bam. Veterans. Oh, what's this? Welsh Unionists win elections. Britain is not a dream. Veterans demand their share. Millions of German soldiers were rewarded after a glorious victory in the Second World War. Our loyal troops oversaw the creation of the greatest empire the world has yet seen. It was therefore only fitting to reward them accordingly. Many veterans were given lands to settle, positions of power and influence, prestige, and more than their share of wealth. This was easy enough to handle following the days of our great victory. This has set a precedent of entitlement, yet another generation of soldiers are retiring and there isn't near the amount of wealth to go around. There simply hasn't been any new conquest. Still, they expect and even demand the same compensation the heroes of the last war were gifted. Even the men who haven't seen a lick of battle, the cheek of them. The most vocal of the new veterans are the last of our men to see real warfare, the veterans of the West Russian conflict. There's no doubt that they suffer greatly to hold back the tide of red rats they threatened Moscow, and therefore only ask for their fair share. It's time we handled retirement benefits once and for all so we can finally end the debate of what the veterans are due. Bormann's, Heydrich's and Goring's increases by 5. I didn't really want to increase everyone else's. I put Reinhard on the same level as Spear now. Someone that was going to give me a wee option. See, I don't even want to spend any influence now. Look at that. Well, at least we're getting 5 here, so what I'm going to do is I think I will spend that. Or will I? Let's put a wee bit of a gap between us. Anyway, smile for the camera. To get the German citizenry behind our message of militarization, we must appear optimistic for the future. At the outset of our regime 3 decades ago, many Germans, left in a cynical state following the trauma of the previous decade, had to be reminded of the glories of being a German and the need for optimism, which Dr. G. happy-go-lucky propaganda helped quench. Like our propaganda success decades prior, by smiling for the cameras and presenting an attitude of positivity and hope will ignite the fireland once more and quell worries of the future. We gained 2 stability and the event 1 bad photo. Alright, is there anything else really going on in the war that we... The Order of St. George and... Wait, who are you a puppet of? Oh, you're a puppet of, Vatka, if I've said that correctly. Vologda. Is anyone starting to unify the nation yet? Spear's call. Oh no, Goring slumped in his chair with a heavy sigh. He glanced at the window, watching the moon struggle to break free from the dark clouds that swarmed it. His mind was racing, almost as fast as his heart. His spy in the Berghof had reported back grave news, the news he had anticipated for a long time, with a mixture of hope and fear. H has fallen into a coma and was unlikely to recover. Now was not a time to mourn his old friend or to celebrate his glorious new future. Now was the time to act. Fuhrer was on the cusp of death, and Goring's enemies were not going to sit idly by once this fact reached them. It ensured they knew nothing about the state of Hitler's health. Only his close eyes in the Wehrmacht and the party would be informed. To make military preparations for a potential armed struggle, Bormann had rallied most of the conservatives in the party behind him and provided greatest threat to Goring's power. Although Heydrich's lunatics and Speer's liberals would no doubt exploit any such conflict as well. As long as Reichstag declared Goring to be the Fuhrer, he would probably be able to maintain a strategic position in Germania in the event of civil war. He was torn from his thoughts by the shrill ringing of the phone. Spears deflects Reichsmarshal. I'm sure you would agree that the Fuhrer's absence from the public sphere has not gone unnoticed. Dr. Karl Brandt has served Hitler faithfully, and the only thing preventing a faster rate of recovery is Julius Schwab's interference. As the designated successor, you should remove him from his post immediately and publicly condemn him. You want me to scapegoat Schwab in order to protect Dr. Brandt? Goring chuckled. I'm happy to take any action against the phony little idiot. Tell Bormann to do the same. We must focus the public's attention on Herr Schwab and away from H, Goring thought. The final curtain is fallen. Oh, it's about to hit the fan. I'm glad we're sitting at 10. Influence military contracts. Oh, bollocks, we can... Heydrich is making moves. Excuse me, Heydrich? What is your thinking behind this? Oh, Heydrich spending points. Heydrich is spending points. Mattei assumes control of the Gulf. Oil is the lifeblood of the Empire. Maybe we should consider doing the same. Gain an additional off-map military factory. See, that'd be quite good. As well as forts are not bad as well. I'm going to... Let's grab some more guns. If Heydrich makes moves, I'm going to make some moves as well. Hopefully Spear's going to start making some moves, and they're influence is going to drop, so I can start to lower mine a little bit. Borman, hopefully I'll start spending his as well. And again, at the same time, if they don't spend their influence, they're just going to have a better starting position in terms of divisions, probably. I was hoping we were maybe going to get through this tree before it happened. Despite his seemingly populistic ethos being regarded as the man of the people by most German citizens, Reich's Marshal Goring has found considerable support from the aristocratic elements of society in the Reich. Although the various aristocratic cliques have seemingly scored a major political victory with the Fuhrer's succession announcement, their support is not completely solid as of yet. Therefore, the Reich's Marshal has no choice but to dine with the society's elite, making extravagant promises and wooing the aristocrats into an equivocal support. Oh my gosh, don't know how to say that. 50 political power and 5 stability. Come on, let us find an option. One bad photo. Next one, Goring, the shaking voice, strong graph. I took a photograph of your plan, the one ordering air troops to use brutal force against this peaceful student protest. I'll leave the photo unless you cancel this order immediately. Is that understood? Goring stared at the young man in shock, but said nothing. He simply rose to his feet, thanked him for his time, and walked over to the waiting shore. I've noticed his glum expression and looked at the Petrol with suspicion. Make sure that young man knows how unhappy I am. I'm not going to go with the other one. I feel like doing something to him is probably just going to make matters worse. At least we'll get 10 legit influence from that. We'll also get 10 from invoke. There's name. How's the militarists looking? Power is low. Their influence is high. Supported the Navy. Acted against the SS. The rat speaks out. Oh no. Severe student protests. Rampant factionalism. Reduced here budget. Domestic unrest. Expanded draft. Supported the Navy. Faith in the Fuhrer. Adopted. Acted against the SS. Supported the Navy. Oh, are we going to be able to increase the power? Increase the power by small amount. Okay. They're going the wrong way. Oh yeah, this is about that jet that landed in Scotland. Okay, that's fine. We don't care for that. Look for opportunities. Demands for women's rights. Can't wait to see what Goring's view on this is. Students weighing on the streets isn't anything new to our administration. New movements occasionally pop up every now and then, before quickly dispersing into nothing. Quickly being forgotten. The new Aryan feminist movement, however, has not. Spearheaded by a large group of female college students, the new group has been organising marches, rallies and meetings in a number of major cities. Reactions are mixed. Many conservative NSDAP members are disgusted, arguing that women's purity needs to be preserved and that the German women's purpose is to be a caretaker. Some of the more traditional women wholeheartedly agree, seeing their place in Germany as an essential pillar of the German family. On the flip side, many younger women chaff at the thought of remaining second-class citizens in their own country and demanded more freedoms and acceptance for the population at large. Many reformers, and even more than a few silent conservatives, are in agreement and see the grievances laid out as valid. With popular opinion split and marches and rallies becoming more frenzied, government needs to step in and offer guidance, one way or another. And Goring said, "We are not changing the status quo, break up the marches." Well, yep, that does not shock me at all that is his response. Collapse of German Madagascar. There it goes. The Republic of Madagascar, the military stats Madagascar, however you pronounce that, in Reichskommissar Madagascar. Not very good. We'll see who wins that. And we're still diverting. Those fucking Ibix is losing a lot of his influence. Mystery of the Lufthansa 302. I landed in Aberdeen. There we go. That's fine. We know all about that from my Scotland playthrough, because obviously we received the plane. Right, so we've got 2 additional units coming to our side. 10,000 guns, which is pretty good. We could do an extra factory. Strategic fort building would be nice as well. These are some great options. We'll go for, we'll influence military factory contracts. An extra military factory would be very helpful for producing equipment. Down with the high society is almost done. So once we get this 10, I'll use 5 to do something else. because we're up to 55. So see if we can stick around 50, I'll be happy. We're going to be on the same level as Spear in a minute, though. The Yasuda Crisis. Unlucky Japan. The biggest parade yet. Given our increasingly militaristic agenda, it only makes sense to put the might of the Wehrmacht on display for the globe. Now, how do we plan on doing this? Through a parade, of course. A ginormous parade through the streets of Germania. Hopefully holding the biggest parade in German history will spill over into nationalist fervour and a longing to see the Reich reclaim its rightful glory whilst worrying out opponents. We're absolutely sure of it. I wonder what the triumph in Germania does for us. 10 influence though. Give us that 10 influence. Heydrich's going to be back up to 40. Spear's going to be 45 with me. Bormann's going to be 65. Bormann's getting a lot of bloody influence. I do not like it. Do not like it. Ah, severe student protests are gone. Good. Our war support is now negative though. At least we're in positive stability. Oh, Spear's making moves. So is Heydrich. Bormann's the only one that's not making moves. Are we still building stuff? Ah, we were building stuff, and now we're not building stuff. Cool, 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 cool. I reckon we will get through this. Surely. Surely. I do want that 10 legitimacy as well. Reich's Commissar to Madagascar has defeated the Republic of Madagascar in a war. War is hell. King Farouk is dead. Okay, okay. Oh, right, no. I thought Bormann was using his influence there. We could do another one. Biggest parade Jetson was done. Got one factory coming to our side. We have 2 divisions. Let's get Spring Heel regiments to our side. Let's get another 2 regiments. My plan for the Civil War as well, once it kicks off, is be on the defensive. I think Heydrich has a little spawn up here. So I think we spawn here. So if we can just solidify this front and use a decent number of guys to crush this, then we can focus our whole divisions on the frontier. I don't know what happens to Bohemia as well. Did they get annexed? I don't know. Anyways, making our move. Although we seemingly have been successful in establishing Reich's Marshal Goring as the Fuhrer's rightful successor among public and military opinion, there are still those who are foolish and stubborn enough to continue to challenge Goring and the Fuhrer's judgment. The time has come. We shall make our move on these hostile elements for the safety and security of the Reich. We will and must be brutal, for it is either ours or their lives. Okay, we're up to 50, so trying for Germania. Goring looked down at the grandiose display before him. He gripped onto the ledge of the balcony with one hand and waved his jewelled-encrusted baton with the other. To enrapture the German people, he thought to himself with a smile. One must appeal to their base instincts. War, military, and grandeur. He had ordered a display of power on a grand scale not seen since glorious celebrations following the triumph of the Second Weltkrieg. It has been expensive, of course, but his revitalisation of the economy following the Fuhrer's inevitable demise would more than make up for it. A sense of pride surged through him as German Goring division marched onwards to lead the procession. The splendour of those uniforms, the synchronisation of their steps, and the sheer beauty of those mechanical creatures rolling forward. It was almost too much to handle. He was enraptured by his own propaganda. Goring chuckled softly. Perhaps he would build a statue of himself in Germania. One for H2. Of course, but maybe ever so slightly smaller than his. Stop prattling, Feld Marshal, Goring laughed as he turned towards Ferdinand Fuhrer, who was cohering tensely with Otto Ernest Remmer and Johann von Kiel-Mansegg. You're missing the parade. Ah, Ferdinand, did you see the mouse? Amazing. Grand. Anyways, guys, I'm going to leave that episode there. So next episode, we will we'll finish up doing the tree, and I think we will be getting into the Civil War. So until then, take care. Cheer bye the now.